Most turn-based tactical RPGs give me the sense that I'm guiding a crack squad of elite soldiers through deadly engagements with quick thinking and military precision. Pit People, on the other hand, feels more like herding a gaggle of semi-competent maniacs to an improbable victory over equally ridiculous foes. And when I came to terms with that, it actually ended up being a lot of fun.
It's Horatio, the humble blueberry farmer, loving father, and the most boring creature on the face of this planet.
The first thing Pit People hits you in the face with is the madcap music and signature, absurdist, oftentimes wonderfully unhinged art style of Dan Paladin, known from such games as Alien Hominid and Castle Crashers. From murderous pixies to boot-scooting unicorns that function as candy-colored artillery pieces, I was never given any impression that this world takes itself too seriously. The humor that accompanies it doesn't always land. But when it strays outside the bounds of being crazy for the sake of craziness and actually injects some genuine wit into the equation, it had me chuckling my way through what otherwise might have been stressful battles. The turn-based combat system is populated by all the usual suspects: beefy melee tanks, agile rogues, long-ranged archers, and damage-dishing mages. There's a bit of an interesting twist, though, in that you don't have absolute control over how your fighters behave. It seemed like oversimplifying my decision-making at first, but I eventually warmed up to it. Each turn, you give a movement order that has to be followed to the letter, but targets for attacks and healing spells are decided semi-randomly by the characters based on where they land. Thus, an unusual element of chaos comes into play, and I found I was often basing my formations on giving my squad the least amount of rope with which to hang themselves. That became an enjoyable tactical layer all its own, though at times I felt like the lack of reaction attacks or any other way to control or limit my enemy's movement made things a bit too hectic and unpredictable. You're introduced to the world by a short but wild and well-paced main quest that features a giant angry space bear who kidnapped your son, serving as a GLaDOS-style hostile narrator.
Looks like you've got a spicy situation on your hands, Well, it's been nice knowing you, Horatio. Not really, but now it's time for you to die. Yes, how exciting.
It took me less than 6 hours to complete, but in that time it includes some clever takes on the battle mechanics, including a couple stealth missions that didn't involve combat at all. Pit People's life is extended by an ever-rotating selection of side quests, and there's the eponymous Pit, which is an arena in which you can play solo or co-op battles against waves of AI enemies or 2 versus 2 PvP. Competitive play can be a lot of fun in its absurdity, considering neither side is ever entirely sure what their fighters are going to do. And for the truly dedicated, there's also a Pokemon element in that you can spend dozens of hours capturing every foe you find in the overworld and adding them to your roster. Pit People's weird world has a special, quirky way of keeping you amused along either path. For more on Pit People, check out the first 15 minutes of gameplay. And for everything else, stick with IGN.